From their self-titled debut release, that is a New American Shame with the song American Shame. And this is Neeley rocking along with you, along with my shame. My good friend, Chris Aiken. What's going on, Chris?
Testing tonight, dude. I'm actually broadcasting live on YouTube right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Doing a video broadcast? For
now, yeah. I'm not going to do it for the whole show, but I just wanted to get some video so that I can, I'm trying to move the heavy metal television show forward.
Sure.
And the only way we can do that is with some of this, where I can actually look at some video and see if it's streaming right and hear me and you interact and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So I'm running it right now as we speak.
All right. Well, good. Where can people see it?
I put the link in the chat room. It's I'll give you the link too. Let me see here. I think I can just paste. There you go.
All right. I see the link there. I'm not going to click on it because all I need is it to loop back at me, and
yep, that's what it will do.
we'll have problems, so I'm not going to do that. But we are back with another live edition of the Classic Metal Show, and tonight I'm kind of in a mood, Chris.
In a bad mood?
Well, not in a bad mood, just in a funk of a mood.
Okay.
I think there's several things that have kind of crept into my psyche this week.
Work-wise or real world?
Oh, just in general. Just in general. It's like a culmination of things.
All right.
Number one, today is November 1st.
Yeah.
Can't believe we're almost to the end of another year.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
November 1st. We're turning the clocks back tonight.
Oh, are we? Awesome. That means I get an extra hour of sleep.
Yeah, I know, but this is like one of my most hated part of the year because now it's going to be dark at 4:30.
It's been dark anyway here at fucking 5:30.
Yeah, so it's going to be dark when I get up, and it's going to be dark when I get home.
Right.
So that just kind of drives me insane. I hate it. I just hate it being dark all the time. It's just... it just brings me down.
Well, you're planning a move. Why don't you plan that move and head your ass over to fucking Florida?
Yeah, seriously.
Or Arizona or somewhere like that.
Right. Well, then, second of all, it's getting colder. Not only is it dark, but it's getting colder.
Well, let me tell you where that's even worse for me. You know what? No, I won't. I'll explain this. I'll come. Just circle me back to that.
All right. Then, third of all,
yeah,
it's election season.
Oh yeah.
So all the nutbags and goofballs and idiots and I don't know what you want to call it, the snake oil salesmen are out there.
Sure.
And that drives me insane.
Where are you seeing it? See, because that's the one thing I've been enjoying not seeing this year with the Roku is I don't have to deal with any of these fucking political cunts.
Well, I don't watch it on TV, but, I'm an avid news reader.
Sure.
So I just see all the ugliness going on out there that, this guy said this and this guy said that and that guy stood for this and this guy was being a racist and that guy was being,
yeah. Dude, if you listen to any of that, there's no one to vote for because they're all fucking assholes that should be in jail, and they admit to it.
Sure.
Each one of them admits that the other guy should be in prison.
Right. So, I started off the show with American Shame, which I think is going to set the tone for tonight's show.
Okay.
Then, for some reason, I don't know if I was just extra sensitive to it this week or if this week has just had a high amount of stupidity when it comes to our social standards, our ethics, and the ridiculousness and political correctness out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's just been... it seems just like all the news wires out there are just full of political correct stories, and it's just, where are we going to go from here? Where do we go from here?
Load the guns. That's where we go. We load the guns and start taking the dumb people off.
Yeah.
That's where we have to go at some point.
Sure. Well, tonight is going to be sort of a commentary. Hopefully we'll have some fun with it or make fun of it.
Okay.
A lot of commentary on social, political correctness, nonsense, idiocy.
Okay.
And I got a bunch of stuff, articles and things. I know you sent me over something that you said is going to take some time, which I'm going to assume we're going to save to the end of the show.
Yeah, and especially and this is funny because I didn't talk to you at all today, and I had no idea that you were in this mood. This is so perfect.
Well, I know when I saw the title of what you were submitting to the show notes,
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, this fits right in with where I'm going.
Oh my God! I only listened. I'll give you this much. It's 110 minutes, which we're not going to obviously do all that.
Right.
I listened to 3 minutes and literally threw a punch at my screen.
Is that right? Well,
In 3 minutes, I was fucking angry.
sure. Well, I also discovered a new old show that you're not aware of. I was just curious, but there's been this show, podcast rather, that I see crop up on the Spreaker quite frequently.
Okay.
And I've often wondered about it. It's got over 500,000 downloads, which is where we're headed.
Okay.
And I've been watching it. I never tuned in. I never really went to discover what it is. And I don't want to tell you what it is. I don't want to tell you the name of the show because I don't want people going over there and checking it out before we get into it.
Okay.
But it's a podcast on Spreaker that it often shows up on the same page as the CMS, and it's got over 500,000 downloads or listens, downloads, whatever. But I noticed that the number of episodes hasn't changed in the last 10 months.
Oh,
so
really?
so this podcaster has not uploaded any new content, and basically for this whole year.
Sure.
But yet it still gets a lot of listens.
Wow.
So I want to see what the hell is this, and what makes this show so popular. So I went and listened to it, and I discovered something that I really enjoyed.
Really? Okay.
And I think you're going to enjoy it too, because this guy is right up our alley when it comes to calling people out for what they are.
I like that.
So it kind of fits in with this whole commentary on our social or lack of social ethics in this country, or how stupid people are in this country. It's sickening. So this guy made me laugh, actually. So he kind of was a bright spot in my week when I listened to his podcast that I'm going to bring to the show tonight. So
All right, cool. Good.
So-
Dude, you know what I listened to today? And don't ask me why, just because I'm an idiot. That's why. I listened to what was the final broadcast of Heavy Metal Dad and Anime Girl.
Oh, it was the final broadcast?
Yeah, it's called Finale. It's under the title of Odd,
Okay.
The Odd Family.
Okay.
And they actually went and tried to be silly there at the end.
Okay.
And when they tried, it was even worse. It was even worse than when they were just driving around in the car.
All right.
But I didn't bring it tonight just because it was like, I looked at the list. I was like, we got a bunch of shit to do. So, I was like, yeah, we could do that anytime.
Right.
That was all the way back in February, too, when they did their final broadcast.
Oh, really? So it's almost been a year, too.
Yeah, so they're done.
I see. What happened? Did Anime Girl get knocked up or something, and she's going away for a while, or what?
Who knows? Hopefully they drown the mom. Wow, she was on this podcast too. Just annoying.
Clowny mom.
Oh, dude, no. What was her? She has a new name now.
Oh, does she? She's no longer Clowny mom.
She's Carney Val. Now, I couldn't believe I was listening to it. And Heavy Metal Dad has a dumb name, and Anime Girl has a dumb name. But then she comes out and goes, and I'm Carney Val.
Oh my God.
Get the fuck out of here, Carney Val.
Well, listening to podcasts, and we won't have time to get to it tonight.
Right.
But I think I found our new Kay and Abby.
Oh, I love that.
It's a new Kay and Abby.
Dude, I was listening to Kay and Abby. Did you listen to it?
Yes, I did. I listened to The Rock and the Short Bobs.
Oh, that's so fucking funny.
I know.
Oh, I cut my hair today.
Yeah, I cut my hair today.
Woo!
Oh, that's so hot.
That's great.
So I went into a Supercuts at 10 o'clock at night on Michigan Avenue down in Chicago and had him cut my hair off, and the girl fucked it up to where I had to go to my normal stylist to fix her fuck up.
Right. Dude, that was such a good time, man. That's a question I want to ask you, and I'll ask the listeners, especially in the chat room as well. Are people digging the fact that I'm putting up like a lot of the best of older stuff on the Facebook every day?
I like it because, it'll prompt me to go listen to it, because, I remember a lot of the things. And so it's just like, well, it's been 5-6 years since I heard this or that. And,
sure,
of course, the funniest line, you definitely had the funniest line in the Kay and Abby.
Yeah.
You just know Abby's husband just liquors her up and rails her in the ass. Because all she talked about was drinking and drinking and drinking. And you just said, you just know he just liquors her up every day and just rails her in the ass.
What are the bets that she's still married?
Oof.
That's bad. I mean, that was what, 5 years ago? That was in 2008, I believe.
Yes, you're correct. Yes.
So if it was in 2008, that's what, 6 years ago?
Yeah.
6 years? Think that guy still could deal with that 6 years later?
I don't know. I couldn't deal with it for a day.
We could hardly get through 30 minutes of listening to it. 6 years, and he's already worn out every fucking hole that he can stick his cock into at this point. I'm thinking she's out.
Right.
She's out and living off of his alimony or something.
Yeah. I don't know, man. But, listening back to a few of the old episodes this week was really funny. And I can't remember who was on the Facebook commented about one of the Dirt Talk segments about the How Cool Is That?
How cool is that?
Yeah, so I went back and listened to that, too. So that was good.
Dude, I listened to that this week, too. That was fucking hysterical when he was all excited because he took a call.
Yeah, he figured out how to tape his cell phone to the speaker.
Right. You know who got off the best line of all of us, though, in that segment was Doghouse. Because Doghouse just called up and said, he's literally excited about taking the exact phone call he said he didn't want.
Exactly.
And when he said that, I just laughed and laughed. I was like, man, is that funny?
That is funny.
Good times, man.
Yep, absolutely. So anyway, tonight, as far as guests are concerned, we have the band Hurt Smile, which features Gary Cherone and Gary Cherone's brother. What's his name?
Mark Cherone.
Mark Cherone. And you're going to speak to Mark Cherone tonight?
Yes. Talk to him about the new album, Retro Grenade.
Okay.
Which is a horrendous title of an album. But it's a good album. I actually like it a lot. If you liked Extreme, you probably like it. If you liked Van Halen 3, that guy, if you're that guy, then you might like it as well.
Sure.
I mean, it's good. It sounds like what Gary Cherone does.
Yeah, it sounds like Gary Cherone.
Yeah, because it is.
So, yeah, that's kind of tough to do something different, especially when you've been part of two fairly notable bands.
Sure, well, certainly Van Halen.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, Extreme had their
they had their
day
run.
day in the sunlight too. So, that Wholehearted was their big claim to fame. And that MTV video was played at like every 10 minutes.
Sure, they had a couple of videos that Wholehearted was there. What was the other one?
That was about the fighting with your neighbor. What's that one called?
They had Kid Ego was one. They had Pornography or Decadence Dance, and they had Wholehearted, but they had another song that was also a ballad. And I keep thinking To Be With You, and I know that's
that's Mr. Big.
What is their ballad? God damn it! No, this is pissing me off.
More Than Words.
More Than Words, right?
Yeah, that was another biggie.
Right, and then they had the album after that. They had what was that one? Cupid something. Cupid Stupid or something.
I don't know. Their time in the sun was, believe it or not, 20 years ago.
Oh, God, are we getting old?
You know that it was like 1994.
Wow,
that was when they were probably at the pinnacle of their popularity.
Yeah, I know this. Nuno Betancourt is a fucking dick.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, is he a dick?
You know who even said that about him too? And this guy's a fellow guitarist.
Who?
Our good friend John Levin.
Said that Nuno's a dick?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I had a horrible run. Have I told that story
I don't know.
with this guy? He was playing a show with his solo band, his side band. And I have these friends. I used to. They're not even around here anymore. I don't know what they're doing. But the DeMarco brothers, Freddie and Johnny DeMarco, and these guys were guitar virtuosos in their own right. I mean, they were really solid. I'm sure one of them is out in L.A. doing like TV production or something. But these guys were the opening band, and they were friends of mine, and they invited me to come up and stand side stage and watch them play.
Sure.
So I did. It was at the Odeon.
Okay.
And you remember how it was at the Odeon where you had the steps that led from like the quote unquote backstage area?
Went upstairs to the dressing room area.
Right. But literally you walked down the steps straight onto the stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when your band or your friend was playing, you kind of stood or sat on the steps.
Right.
And you watched your friends play. Well, I was there watching Freddie and Johnny play, and they only played like maybe 25 minutes or something. I mean, it was a short set, and I was standing there for maybe 10 minutes. And fucking Nuno comes, he's in that room up there, and he comes down, and I get out of the way, so he can walk down. He goes to the back, the downstairs area where they had all their gear and shit. And, so he goes down, and I sit back down on the steps. I'm watching my buddies play. Well, he comes back up, and turns like the corner to go back up the steps. And I'm sitting there on a step. And before I can even start to get up, he's like, "Are you going to stay in my fucking way all night?" And I jumped up and I said, "No, but I'm going to break your fucking neck if you run your fucking mouth at me like that again."
Wow.
I fucking snapped on his ass.
Yeah.
And he went and had security throw me out.
Of course.
Of course he did. But it was an immediate, how I get to, and especially back in those days.
Right.
There was no taking any shit from anybody. And, he was being a dick. All he had to do was say, "Hey, excuse me," or "Can you move?" or whatever. But no, he had to be a dick.
Can I slide by here? Or, whatever.
But instead, he had to be a dickhead. It's like, fuck you, asshole. Who are
Prima
you?
donna.
He's nobody.
Right.
So that's my Nuno story.
I hear you. Well, we are live here on the Classic Metal Show. If you want to get involved with us, the best way to get involved is jump in the chat room, chatandkill.com, chatandkill.com. Just spell that out and be a part of the chat room. And, we've had several chat room platforms over the last few years. And, even though this one is fairly simplistic in the way it's laid out, the thing I like about it is that if you belong to any social media out there, you can log in with your social media account.
Sure. It's easy.
It's easy. So you can, if you're part of Facebook or Google Plus or Chatwing or,
right.
just all the different social media out there. If you have one of those social media accounts, you can just log in with that.
Sure. No, it's easy. It's definitely easy.
So anyway, jump in the chat room, chatandkill.com, be a part of the show, and, it's silly in there all the time. So that's one of the more fun things about the Classic Metal Show is the chat room.
Yeah, dude, is it when you listen back to old stuff, and we're always referencing the chat room, do you remember what was going on in the chat room when we were saying stuff? Because I don't.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I can't remember what was going on 6 weeks ago, let alone 6 years ago.
I know, but it is funny that it's a piece of the show, and I know we preach it, and I'm sure a lot of people are like, "Oh, you guys just trying to get people to listen live." Look, I don't care when you listen, as long as you listen.
Yeah, but the interaction is what drives the show.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, there are moments in the chat room where we can't even describe what the fuck is going on.
Right,
and those are the funniest moments of all. You miss some of the funny when you're not in the chat room. Right. I honestly believe that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our fans are just as silly and crazy as we are, which is why they're the fans,
Exactly.
So they tune in and be a part of the show, and they're an integral part of the show, and it's a good time.
Sure.
Well, speaking of, and I would just want to get this out of the way, a couple of shout outs real quick. Being a integral part of the show, our good friend Bob Nalbandian
Oh, yeah.
He's got a new TV show out there now.
He does, yeah.
And he's doing this thing. I don't know the details of how he does what he does, but
I do actually.
Do you? Because is that like a rent-a-studio type of thing where you basically go in and use their facilities and pay a fee and they'll record it for you and stuff? Yeah. Or how does that work?
Actually, you don't even know this. I actually did an interview with Bob on Thursday for Ron Keel's show. I'm hosting Ron's show in 2 weeks, so I was knocking down I literally got to the end of it, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I need an interview." So I called Bob up, to do a quick interview.
Sure.
And that was one of the things we talked about after the interview was what he's doing, and I guess that company T Radio V is an actual. They're making a go of it.
Okay.
They're a company that has some investors, and they're putting out some money, and they literally rented the space and built the studios and everything. And so they have a studio that is dedicated for these different shows.
Okay.
And the way it worked was, I guess Ricky Rackman was supposed to be doing a show.
All right.
But for whatever reason, it didn't play out or whatever. And then they had another guy, and he wasn't working out. Like, his show just wasn't working. And Bob was supposed to be in there being interviewed on one of these shows. And instead, they just asked Bob if he wanted to take a swing at doing one.
Okay.
So Bob said yes, and the first one that he did was the one that you probably watched with
John Bush. Yeah.
So that's the genesis of it. The name of the company is T Radio V.
Okay. That's like TV with the radio in the middle.
Right, exactly.
So he's doing a show on Tuesdays, and now since it's recorded and you can go back and watch it, when he's doing the show, I'm assuming it's live, yeah?
Yeah, it is. He goes in and does it live, and then they make it available for for streaming wherever you are, whenever you are.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good setup.
Sure. I was trying to find the link to it.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Oh, here it is. I got it.
Right?
Yep, I found it. It's a live stream, and I guess you would just have to go to TRadioV.InsideMetal.
Okay. Wow. .InsideMetal?
I think so. I'm looking at I'm going to pull up the link here real quick, see what it is. If you just go there and search for it, or
they're really trying to fuck up the internet now, aren't they?
I'm just trying to see how it's done here. If there's an actual, address for it,
Right.
It's just, I guess you're just going to have to look for it, because I'm looking at the address here, and it's a livestream.com thing.
Okay.
So they must be doing what Heavy Metal Television did.
Right,
at the very beginning, going through live stream.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't. I'm surprised that they don't have their own web address.
TRadioV does. I'm on it. Oh, there you are. TRadioV.com.
Okay, because everything I got is a live stream link.
Yeah, I just went to TRadioV.com and I got their page. Oh, and there's Ozzy. I don't know who interviewed him, but somebody interviewed Ozzy.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? Schedule. Let's see. Or shows. Maybe shows. God, this is a fucking...
Yeah, I'm just surprised they don't have their own, direct domain.
Yeah. Well, they have TRadioV.com. And then, let's see. Where's Bob's show? Maybe it's not even listed here yet. Well, they got the Andy Dick show. Yeah, I don't see Bob anywhere here. Like that, maybe they just don't have him listed yet. The Michael Daybar show. There it is, Inside Metal. It is. Oh boy.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's not real easy. From 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific time, I'm assuming.
Yeah. The web address, if anybody wants to try and follow along, is tradiov.com/LA/videos category/inside metal.
Wow. See that? Boy, that's. I like the concept. I like their studio set up, and they seem to do a really good job with panning the cameras back and forth, and all that. So it's quite obvious that they put some money into it.
Yeah.
But getting to it, that's just a problem.
What, that web address doesn't just roll off the tongue?
No. you can look at their schedule, though. If you go to tradiov.com and just click on the schedule link up there at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that will, help you find it.
Or you can just go to show. If you click show at the top
and
scroll to the bottom, Bob's is the newest show added.
All right. Now, I again, you said you knew a little bit about this. Now, how does this work? I mean, do they pay to use these studios, or does T Radio V pay them, or is it a freebie, or is it just get for advertisement? Or
the way Bob explained it to me is that you start getting paid once they get X amount of advertising revenue for your show.
Okay,
but you don't pay to advertise either, or to do your thing.
Okay, so you go in and do a show, and you basically do it like what we do, is basically do it for free.
Right. You build your audience, and if your audience reaches a certain level to where you can start selling advertising, then you get some pay.
Okay. All right. It's kind of like that whole thing that like Eddie Trunk is on, that what is it?
Podcast One, yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Same style thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder, looking at the equipment that the studios have, and the cameras and the mics and all that kind of stuff, they put some money into that, because they're using the good mic like I have here in my studio. Sure. Those mics are $500 a piece.
Wow, I'm gonna steal yours next time I'm there.
Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Oh guys, it's Tim Jones. I love that Nickelback. I love that sexy Chad Kroger. He has a great ass.
And thanks for calling.
All right. So anyway, go check it out. It's on Tuesdays, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Bob does his Inside Metal, and he had John Bush on this for his debut show.
Right.
And yeah, so it was real good. So go check that out. And also, speaking of Bob, he also got interviewed. Now, was it for the Huffington Post, or it just showed in the Huffington Post because they just carried it?
No, it's on their website for the blog.
Okay.
Like the blog.huffingtonpost.com?
Right. I didn't know if it was distributed to other media outlet or if it was specifically for Huffington Post.
Oh, it's a specific interview with Huffington Post.
Okay. Well, Bob got interviewed on the Huffington Post, so you can go over there and check that out as well.
Right. Good for him.
Yeah, he's out there making noise.
Yeah.
And getting publicity out there for the Inside Metal, and trying to schedule Inside Metal premieres around the country. And
yep.
Are you working on something in the Cleveland area?
I am.
Okay.
Myself and Bill Peters are working with Bob and Bob's guy, trying to get something done.
Sure.
But I don't have an announcement.
I'm sure you're trying to nail down all the
particulars. The day and the time and the how much and blah blah blah. We're at that phase. It's good. Yes, there will be one. Not sure exactly when yet. We're trying to get it done. I need Bob to have it done. Me, Bob, and Bill need to get it done by this week if we're going to make it be any kind of success before Christmas.
Yeah, because we've only got 6 weeks before Christmas, or actually
we got 8 weeks or whatever. But there's not much time left, so we gotta get rolling.
Yeah. All right. Well, very good. So anyway, I just wanted to throw a little shout out to our good friend Bob, and congratulate him on his success and having a show and getting interviewed in a pretty widespread publication, regardless if you're a hard lefty or not, whether you like the Huffington Post or not. But it's still cool. There's no such thing as bad press.
Right.
So good stuff there.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, anyway, like I said, tonight we've got Hurt Smile on the show, and then the rest of it is going to be a lot of political correctness and the idiocy, which is our what do you want to call it? Our society.
Right. They make it easy for us to do 6 hours, that's for sure.
Yeah, especially this week, because I know I shared several links with you this week on stories that just make you shake your head, and it's just like, what's this country come to?
I know the one or two times I talked to you during the week this week, you were just like,
it's just,
and not even for a reason.
Yeah.
It wasn't like anything was any different than any other week, but every time I talked to you, it was just like, I'm on the way to the office.
just it. Like I said, the change in the weather, change in the time, just the time of the season. It just starts to. I feel like the world is just closing in on me.